Today's video is brought to you in part by Zippin. If you don't know who he is, zip it and go give him a follow on Mixer.com where he streams every single day. Times may vary. And while you're at it, don't forget to give this video a nice thumbs up, hit that little subscribe button if you're new, and send all your comments, questions, concerns, chit chat, whatever, right down below. You know where it is. So, so this video is going to be a Hespori kill and a quick overview of gear and how to approach it and yada yada yada. So my friend Zippin on Mixer, he wanted me to make a video of just a quick video to show him how to kill a Hespori. So I figured, why not make it a public video, you know, in case anyone else would like to see how a master takes on a Hespori. Not to brag, I have a few kills. A few. Oh yeah, disregard that. When I started trying to record, my mic wasn't working. Um, but I got it fixed, so it's all good. All right. So basically, Hespori in the farm guild, to the left, into this little cave. This flower right on the outside is an indicator of whether or not it is ready for you to kill. If the flower petals are open, it's ready for you to kill. If it's not, then it's not ready for you to kill. Let me show this for if so. It is an instanced area, not when you first go in. When you start the fight, it's instanced. If you die, this guy right here, Arno, will grab your stuff for you. It'll cost you 25k to get your stuff back via collect, which I don't have any stuff. And unless you die on the way coming back, and then you're SOL, unfortunately. Um, I wish it would still give me the pop up because I'd love to show. Zippin was a bit inebriated on stream. He just wanted to try killing Hespori on his way out a couple nights ago. Ended up dying. When he ran back, he clicked the trash button, which is somewhere over here. Don't click this button. It's a red trash bin. Don't click it. Thankfully, when he clicked it, the game has a nice warning, you know, like snowblowers for people like Zippin. Love you, Zippin. that that hopefully you don't then go and force of habit click the yes button, because that would stink. It's never happened to me, and I hope it never does. Oof, that would hurt if I lost. Only 16 mil. That's actually, you know, it would be 48 mil. It would sting a little. I'd be more pissed at my capes. But, so, anyway, when you first enter, so you'll see people coming in and out. This is not the instance yet. It's only when you click harvest. If you use a third-party client like RuneLight, you can mark the cave entrance. It mainly just helps because when you're killing it, having to kill these flowers. Sorry, I'm playing one-handed right now. You're running around, and by the time the kill's over, I noticed in the first dozen I killed when it was released, I could not find the freaking exit. Because I'm too smart to see this little red mark right here. That's the exit indicator. But this is it blends in pretty good, especially if you're using Ruin Light and you have the enhanced zoom and this, and so when you turned all around, it's like what the heck. So mark again, and then the only other thing. So I have this space marked. Not really necessary, I guess. It doesn't do anything more than just remind me to check check everything. To This is where when I first enter the cave, where I stand, I pot up, I eat up, I turn all my prayers on, and then I start to kill. Um, Ooh, excuse me. Ooh, I almost clicked on on him. So for gear, so Hespori attacks with mage and range, both of which are hit just as hard and just as accurate as each other. They hit 16 for a max hit. It's pretty accurate, not gonna lie. And it also has a special attack that does 40 damage. It entangles you in vines. You can't move. You can't attack. You can eat. Um, I would recommend that if you are low health, that is when you should start chomping on food. Um, it'll entangle you for about 3 seconds or so. Um, During that time, you have to be clicking away, or an alternative is actually clicking attack just repeatedly on Hespori, and you'll break the vines. If you don't break the vines by the time um, the 3 seconds or so is up, then it'll hit you for a random number up to 40, which it can also combo you right out because it'll send an attack right after. Its attack speed is pretty quick. Um, so it's and anyway, so for weapons, or for spec weapon, I should say. I have these three up here. Um, these are what I would recommend in order of effectiveness. In my opinion, I mean only 114 kills. um, the BGS, love the BGS. This is actually one of the few places that I use it. Most places, if I'm doing Slayer or something, it's SGS. So I don't use this as much as I like. So this is one place. It's nice when you spec it and hit a 50, and that's 50 defense. So Hespori only has 120 defense, which is it's fairly high. It's definitely going to stop some of your attacks, um, but it ain't. I wouldn't say it's anything like boss material. But you can do a little more damage if you lower that defense. So that's always good, and you can hit pretty high with the BGS. So you're not only lowering its defense, you're also hitting it, pretty hard. And the harder you hit it, the more defense you remove. Um, Next, if you don't have a BGS, the next in line I would say would be claws. I would say it's right behind it, because Obviously, claws just own everything. But if not, I would say blowpipe. Use the blowpipe special. You'll heal some health, um, and it hits higher. At that point, you don't really need a spec. Um, an alternative, I guess you can use any of the dragon weapon specs. A DDS. A DDS has very low accuracy for 120 defense, so you might get lucky. Hit pretty hard, but likely it's just gonna flop. Um, so these three I would recommend, definitely. As for gear, this so aside from my top and bottom, I this is what I normally bring. I would say it's about meta. Um, Fire cape would be the only other thing. I do have a fire cape if anyone's asking, or a couple. I just it's a long story. I'm not gonna get into it. Um, Normally, so I use this because I'm using a stab weapon, so you add some stab accuracy. The top and bottom I normally wear are bandos, um, which if I'm when I'm in full bandos, obviously protect from mage because my mage defense is pretty low. Range defense would be pretty high, so I don't have to worry about that. But on the opposite hand, while I'm wearing D'hide, protect range is absolutely preferred. Um, Even though the defense is lower, well, the formulas work out a little different, but the the range it would tear you up around this defense. Well, if you had lower defense than I do, I don't know if it actually would. I've done prayerless kills with no food, so um, the only other thing, if I would say to get your magic defense a little higher, um, Barrow's gloves, because these. Oh, I just learned something new. I thought these gave negative to magic defense. Well, it's nothing. No, zero defense, but Barrow's gloves would be a little higher. And then my Avernic Defender does take away 5. But so Dragon Defender, you add 5, still keep the higher DPS. Or if you're taking too much damage, you can go with um, in this setup uh, a DFS. Um, if I'm wearing full bandos, I guess a crystal shield, but the range defense is so high in the bando setup. I just I don't have my bandos right now. I had to sell it for some skill and supplies. And then if you're still taking some extra damage, I would say suffering instead of berserker ring, because it's gonna add another 20 to magic, so it definitely makes a difference. Um, and and then a serp helm too. Uh, he does it does poison. You could do an anti poison or anti. I don't even know if it's which one it is. Just grab a serp helm. It's definitely especially if you're meleeing. The best in slot. Yeah, old best in slot. Still best in slot in my eyes. And then for your main hand, if you can't afford a rapier, argue, arguably the tent whip and next in line the regular whip would be better. Hespori is weak to slash. It has negative. It has positive 20 defense to slash. Um, but for crush and stab is plus 60. Uh, but the rapier is just so damn good. I'm, I'm sure there are people that would argue with me that the DPS is still better with a tent whip, but I don't know. Yeah, I mean I've tried both. I love my rapier. All right, so let's get into a kill. So one dose divine super combat, and I use these two because the divine takes away 10 HP to make sure that I have 121 HP on entry, and then I usually don't even eat once. Don't even have to worry about it. Um, I brought food. Normally, I don't even bring extra food. Um, I did just in case, so I don't look like an idiot. um, I'm gonna do another easy method. Um, I'm gonna let one of the vines hit me with Venge um, to show that. So just in case I get too low. Other than that, I think I'm good to go. So you always want to start off with blowpipe equipped. I always have my spec weapon right there, ready to swap as soon as I kill the flowers. The flowers spawn at the start at 66% health and at 33% health. You have to kill them. They they are one-shotted with any type of attack that touches them. So, I mean, you could bring bronze darts and just throw them, and it'll one-shot each of them. But that's just easier. Blow pipe. So, and then prayer. So for my setup, I am range, and then piety. Okay, eat, pot up, eat again, and on. Oop, almost did my wrong weapon. And that's why I have this little box here. Ugh, crap spec. Oh, that's awful. Okay, so right here, you can. Oh, I don't know if I gotta replay it for myself. I don't know if I actually hit. I just realized when any of the flowers are up, you can't damage it. I just messed that. Alright, so here, you can either click off or click attack. Won't smack you for a massive amount. And that is kill. Easy peasy. 48. That is crap. All right. Well, until next time, the current video I'm working on, loot from 10,000 Earth Implings, should be out in a couple days. I'm about halfway through, so look look forward to seeing that. Until next time, pay my deed forward, and don't forget to pay it forward.